and welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another week, another edition of the first edition of a new event of the new broadcast here of the HSL, the Hispanic Star League Season 1 Group A. I'm of course host VIP. With me I'm joined by these amazing players, by the people in chat, by my plushies as well. Welcome one and all to something a little bit different here. The HSL is a new endeavor, is a new event. Shout out to the Spanish speaking community here. Shout out to Bond, Anki, and many others. Basically a bunch of content creators from the Spanish speaking community from Spain, from Latino America have come together and have crowdfunded a new league, a new event. Let's go, the Hispanic Star League. Now, as I just kind of mentioned in a way, this is an event for the Hispanic community, meaning both Latino America as well as Spain as well. It is region locked to those regions, and with that, this is essentially GSL for the Hispanic scene. We have the group stage leading into the playoffs. Now, first things first, the groups are going to be covered by replays. Bear that in mind. So this is going to be a replay cast, but the playoffs are going to be live, and the playoffs will be next month. Coming to April will be the playoffs, so a lot to come, a lot of content here on the horizon, and we have a lot of catching up to do to make sure that we're caught up with all the groups before the playoffs as well. Now, the groups, they have been for the most part played out. There are still some matches still ongoing, but actually let's head on over here and catch up on some of our matches for Group A. Now, when it comes to these groups, they're actually round robin. There's a lot of matches going on as well, and there's a lot to catch up on. Unfortunately, because the players did have to schedule amongst themselves, there are some matches that are missing. There are some matches that never quite played out. And also because we have to catch up on all the groups before the playoffs, we are going to try and more or less have like more of a highlight broadcast here of the groups. Today we're going to be covering the highlight matches of Group A and Group B. Tomorrow will be Group C. The day after that will be Group D, and then next week we'll cover the rest of the groups as well, hopefully lining up in such a way where the rest of the matches are going to be played out. That is the goal, that is the plan. For now though, we have two matches here. We have two matches for Group A. The format here is we have three matches played, and all maps are played as well. So it's a best of three, technically is a best of three, but all three maps are going to be played out by our players, and we have an interesting player stepping into the ring here for the first time in a long time. Juanito, Special, actually playing in this tournament. Again, Special, he's very inactive nowadays. He's very inactive. Special, I wouldn't say he's retired necessarily, just because he plays like in an odd tournament every here and there. Most notably, he played in Euthermal's 2v2 tournament with Cham. So Special played alongside Cham. I think he played like in one Euthermal event. He also played in a recent Bastards Big Brain Bouts, but for the most part, Special is very inactive nowadays. Very inactive. Just for some perspective here, Special, his last big tournament was the EWC qualifiers. That was back in July of last year, and from July cut to, I mentioned that Euthermal 2v2 tournament, that was in January. So 6 months did not play anything. So in that sense, like, again, like Special, he's pseudo retired. He's not playing full-time anymore, at least not currently. Maybe if there is another season of EPT announced, then Special will step back into the ring. But even then, for the last season of EPT, before EWC, like, Special was also not really playing much then either. I would say that right now, Kelazur is more informed than Special, and Kelazur is arguably the best player in Latin America right now, over Special. But regardless, that's why it's exciting to see him actually play here and now. You know, Special was invited, and he did accept that invite and did play his matches here for the Hispanic Star League, and we'll be featuring him later on in the day. First things first though, we're going to be featuring some players from Spain, Fairespiter and Luna. Here we go. Two players that I'm not really familiar with. When it comes to the Spanish scene, it used to be a little bit bigger, used to be a little bit larger. I'm thinking of Vortex, I'm thinking of Lucifron, right? The brother duo were very prominent back in the day, back in Wings of Liberty, back in Heart of the Swarm as well, even early Legacy. And fun fact, I mean, this is a bit of a spoiler for things to come, I was pleasantly surprised to see that Vortex did also accept the invite. So Special is back, Vortex is back as well. I don't know what Vortex's form is going to be. If you've been following Vortex, you would know that even though he did retire from StarCraft many years ago, Vortex didn't retire from esports. I believe Vortex, he went from StarCraft to Heroes of the Storm. I actually remember watching the first season of Heroes of the Storm. I think Vortex was on Team Liquid. Vortex and Luciferon, they were playing together on Team Liquid's Heroes team. They switched to Heroes of the Storm, and then I want to say they switched to Warcraft 3. Sorry. They switched to AoE. That's it. When AoE 4 came out, when Age of Empires 4 came out, I want to say both Vortex and Luciferon switched to that, also achieving a lot of success there. So yeah, and I want to say also into Stormgate, when Stormgate was first popping off in early access. So like, yeah, they're still very active when it comes to the esports scene. Just like kind of hoping from game to game, whatever does catch their interest. And Vortex, he's back for this tournament, at least after how many years? Hold on, let me just double check that. We're not going to be casting Vortex tonight. Vortex, we're going to be featuring him next week instead, as he's in a later group. But just quickly double checking here, let's have a look. Vortex, okay. The last tournament he played in officially, and this, I don't even know if I want to count this. He last actively competed, I would go that far. Vortex, he last actively competed back in 2018, 2017, 2018, 2016, against her early legacy, very early Legacy of the Void. I'm pretty sure he last properly competed back in 2016. When it comes to 2017 and 2018, he only played in WCS Valencia, but that makes sense because Valencia, I mean, it's a more local event. It's a local event, so I believe he was in the open stage. Yeah, he was in the open stage of those Valencia tournaments. So again, by then he had already retired, so that was back in 2018. In 2020, I was gonna say that's pretty recent. That's 5 years ago. God, time flies. Time flies. But almost 5 years ago, he did play in the qualifiers for the EU DreamHack Masters qualifiers for the full edition. And he actually was looking pretty good. Jeez, I'm looking at some of these results. He took down Battle B, took down Gung Fu Banda. Like, these are active players. So yeah, Vortex, he like randomly showed up for one qualifier, for like one season of qualifiers, and then bam, 5 years later he's here. So again, it's been 5 years since Vortex has competed in any semblance of StarCraft, and been even longer than that since he retired from StarCraft competitive play. So I'm going to be excited to see some Vortex later on. Vortex, yeah, player that I don't think I've ever casted. At the time, I don't think we were covering those European qualifiers. I think we were only covering the other region qualifiers instead. So exciting stuff. It is going to be exciting. So we'll be featuring some Vortex action later. But in general, sorry, I was referring to the Spanish scene from Spain specifically. So outside of Vortex, outside of Luciferon, in more modern StarCraft, we had Akedon, of course, but alongside, you know, his predecessors, I would say that Akedon currently is retired. I should say, I was concerned that he had retired. The reason for this, if you've been following Akedon's matches, he has not played and competed in StarCraft since last year October, so it's also been a long time. We're coming up on how many? Yeah, we're coming up on what, 5 months? Like almost half a year. With Akedon not really touching the game or competing in StarCraft, so it's been quite some time since Akedon has actually competed actively. Not as long as Vortex, of course, so it's great to see Akedon returning, great to see him back. Just confirming, yeah, the last event he played in was back October 26th of 2024, so a long time ago at this point. So because of that, I was concerned that maybe he had like silently retired, but no, he's also back for the Hispanic Star League. Akedon, he's back for this event as well, so I look forward to seeing more of Akedon. Akedon, bit of a teaser here for later on tonight. Akedon, he has switched to Protoss though. I don't know if this is officially switching to Protoss, but I mean, I guess I would imagine so. Like, since Akedon's been gone for so long, it's possible that he might be just taking things a little bit less seriously, or just looking to reinvent himself as a Protoss instead of a Terran player. So Akedon is also back. Now though, we're going to be jumping into our matches. Again, we have our initial PvP featuring two players that I'm very unfamiliar with. Again, there are a couple of key players from Spain that I'm a little bit more, or that I've covered a little bit more, when it comes to a fan, watching them, or even casting them, but here less so. So I'm excited, I'm ready. Show us what you got. Up. Bam, there we go. As we are jumping into our first matchup, as we're jumping into our PvP between Fairespiter and Luna. Not Lunacy. Not quite. Let's go. Just catching up with chats. Do you see Baby Links? Good morning, good morning. Turbo Quacker as well. Getya, and of course Hyper One. Welcome one and all as we are jumping into our first match of the night of the Hispanic Star League Season 1 Group A. And spawning in the top right hand corner of Leylines, we have the pink Protoss player from Spain. It is a Fairespiter. Representing Team Hardstuck Heroes, let's go. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have also from land of Spain, the blue Protoss player. It is Luna. We go. As we jump into our first matchup here of the night. So again, as a reminder, when it comes to our broadcast today, we're going to be covering some Group A matches and some Group B matches as well. 4 matches in total, 4 best of 3s. So jumping into our initial PvP. Let's go. Let us go. Luna does initially fare now with his first worker here, going for his gateway in the main base. Likewise, so is Fairespiter. So far, standard setup here on top of the ramp. When it comes to the league and when it comes to the level of our players, I'm a little bit unfamiliar, not going to lie, but I'm ready here to be introduced to our 2 Protosses. As it looks like we are setting up for a Gate Cyber. Okay, double gate opener here at Luna. Meanwhile, Fairespiter going for his own Gate Cyber Core opener instead. Okay, Fairespiter cutting some corners here, being a little bit greedy. Pulling a Max Packs. You have my attention. Yeah, Gate Cyber. Okay. Interesting. So our players have taken their roles. We have a more aggressive and I would say standard opener out of Luna, opening up double gateway. Meanwhile, we have Fairespiter cutting corners, going Gate into Cybercore into Stargate, followed by an expansion. This is an opener that Max Packs did popularize, and we'll see if Fairespiter is able to get away with it. As you can see, Fairespiter, he's searching for that second pylon. He did scout the first, and he is actively looking for the second pylon as well. Does go for another pass. Of course, wants to make sure he doesn't get cheesed out, doesn't get caught off guard. Checking his vision at this point, he is once again checking for the pylon, checking for the expansion. The pylon is actually further back in the main, but it's in a bit of an awkward position here, and because that Fairespiter, he will not scout this across the map, makes a Zealot. So because Fairespiter does not see the initial pylon, he believes that there might be a proxy, so he makes a Zealot and he does move out looking for that pylon. So far, a strong start for Luna. Luna, he does successfully mind game his opponent. Pylon is in the main, and Fairespiter has no idea. Double Stalker opener will hunt down the probe, moves out across the map. We have a 3rd and 4th Stalker on the way, so Luna is being hyper aggressive, going to be rallying across the map. Behind this is going to expand. Again, he's not going for an all-in, but Fairespiter is not fully aware of that. It's going to be a Stargate opener going for the Oracle first. Stalkers are present here on top of the ramp. Ooh, they will miss the Adept. Adept slots slip past. Stalkers head towards the natural. Adept does confirm the expansion, and now he knows there's no all-in. Now he knows there's no proxy. I mean, there might be a proxy Stargate, but for the most part, there is the expansion already in position. Fairespiter racing back home. Stalker soon to arrive. The shield battery is exposed, and Luna can go for it. He can go for that shield battery. Is going to be targeted down. Fairespiter, yeah, there's no saving it. Ooh, that's a kill, not a cancel. Just like the shield battery. Away at the Oracle as well. Not bad, going for the Stalker, and we're in trouble here. Again, there is no warp gate. It does push up into the main base. The boys can be pulled, and they're going to have to be. Yeah, boys are being pulled. Zell comes in from behind. Oracle dives in. Ooh, the Oracle does get picked up. Yeah, nice trades here from Luna. Takes down the Oracle. Takes down the Stalker. Oh my god. And this is getting out of hand. This is already getting out of hand real fast and real quick. Remember, there's only going to be 1 gateway to warp in. Second gateway still on the way. That's going to be how many? 6 probe kills. And Luna starts off with a very comfortable lead. Doesn't stick around. I don't blame him, especially because it doesn't have any reinforcements. If he had a proxy pylon, if he was reinforcing and warping in, then I would favor Luna to just keep on pushing and to keep the pressure up. I do think that it would have still been okay to still apply pressure to the natural, but in the end does back off, gets his lead, and pulls away. So he does take his lead. As he pulls back and now taking up in towards the Twilight Council, both players are. Coming into this, I would say the Fairespiter is in a worse position. I mean, he went for a Stargate opener and he lost the Oracle. He went for a faster Nexus. He lost the Worker lead. The Fairespiter is in a rough position. Say Fairespiter. Is it fairies? Fairespiter? Fairies? Yeah? Yeah? yeah, I think so. Fairespiter. There we go. Stalker is pushing in. Oh! Going for the shield battery. Does initially snipe. And just keeping the pressure on, keeping Fairespiter back. And from here, Luna just continuing to take up here. We have the robot on the way. We don't have Blink yet, which is a little bit concerning. Picks off a Stalker, no shield battery. And no shield battery, no setup. Stalker goes down, zoning Fairespiter away. But the lack of Blink is concerning. Luna slipping up his macro here. Yeah, backing up resources, not spending his money. That can hurt him in the end. Okay, Luna just getting a little bit too excited here. I mean, he is finding a lot of damage, but leads out another Stalker, pulls away. And what do we have back at home? We have the Observer, now we have Gateways, now we start Blink. Remember, the Twilight Council, they finish up at around the same time. Fairespiter, his Blink is almost done, meanwhile Luna's just now beginning. So Luna just a little bit too engrossed in the aggression. A little bit too much. Yeah, throwing down the Dark Shrine as well. Luna still maintains a Worker lead, thankfully, but does have to spend their resources in macro. Catching back up in the chat. Papi, how many groups will you cast? I just finished all my matchups with my group. Oh, let's go, Tabito. La próxima semana, we'll cover your group. We're going to be covering all the groups. Todos. We'll be covering all the groups. Hoy día es A y B. Grupo A, Group A, Group B. Grupo A, Grupo B. Tomorrow is going to be Group C, and day after that is going to be Group D. That's the plan. That is the plan. So covering all groups, but we're going to be covering Davido's group next week. Next week, papi, next week. La próxima. As for now, we are moving on with our Prism. We have the Dark Shrine finishing up. Back at home, do we have any forms of detection here? There is a Forge. We have access to potentially an Oracle, but still a ways off. Still a ways off. Oh, el tapo. Ah, sí. And here we go. DT's right into the main base, and there is zero detection. Cannons are being thrown down here at the natural, but there's no cannon in the main. Probes are going to be going down. Lunacy pushing in towards that natural base. Yeah, workers are falling. From here, you can go for the tech, go for the robos. As there isn't really much that can be done. Even the Prism gets away. No, Prism does get away. Cannons in production here. And that will help protect the natural at least. But Luna is all over Fairespiter. Fairespiter. I will figure it out. Yeah, as the robot gets depowered. Likewise, whole position. Yeah, GG gets called. There's just nothing that Fairespiter can do. And Luna takes the lead 1-0. Whew, GG. Luna does take a lead. Again, Luna with a very strong start, able to catch, what, 5-6 probe kills, able to pick off Stalkers, and snowball out of control from there. I was a little bit concerned. Luna did show us maybe a little bit of nervousness there, or making some slip-ups when it comes to his macro, for getting upgrades, delaying his production, and banking up resources, but he got there in the end, had enough of a lead where he was able to make up for that regardless, and with that, GG. GG, well played. Luna does take a lead in the series, and from here we're getting into game number 2. We go. Hello, Dazzle. Hello. Wait for you to cast my group. Sadly, it's almost the last one, but it's it is a worthy to wait. Oh, okay. I'm sure, Pappy. I'm sure. I'll be there for it. Yes. Of course, Davo, I think, is in group, I want to say group E. Let's see. Group G. Okay. We'll get there. But now, though, we're jumping into game 2, and spawning in the top right-hand corner of Frostline, we have our Pink Protoss player. Pink Protoss representing Team Hardstuck Heroes. It is Fairespiter. Fairespiter. And in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the other Spanish Protoss player, the blue Protoss. It is Luna, leading the series 1-0. Here we go. But yeah, it's great to see all these players from so long ago here, so many old veterans of the scene coming back for the event, whether it's players like Draconics, Neo, Tavito, Vortex, Ryojin, Eon as well. I was happy to see Bombilla. I was very surprised. I didn't know Bombilla was still playing, but I saw Bombilla in the brackets. Of course, Luciano, some more modern players like Mute as well. Yeah, it's great to see, and we'll be featuring more of them later on in the broadcast. We'll get there, we'll get there. Great to see them back. So now once again we are opening up in our main bases. We do have our initially 2-gate opener. Okay, so after being punished in game 1, we have Fairespiter going for a 2-gate opener here in game number 2. 2-gate opener out of Luna. We have mirrored builds for the time being. Last game, if you recall, Fairespiter was being greedy, was punished for that greed, and also had a misread on his opponent. But now we can slow things down and we can embrace a more standard back and forth. It is going to be once again double Stalker out of Luna. This time Stalker Sentry out of Fairespiter. Okay. So Stalker Sentry is a more macro build. It allows for our expansion, of course. It allows for scouting more than anything. The Sentry does provide a hallucination, which you can send out across the map to get eyes on the pylon, to get eyes on the tech, to get eyes on whether or not your opponent is even expanding as well. As Luna does mix it up, it opens up double Stalker into double Adept. Twilight Council's on the way, Twilight Council before expansion. Meanwhile, Fairespiter going for the Nexus before tech. So more of an economic build here out of our pink Protoss player. Meanwhile, Luna going for something more aggressive. So far, still on one base. Still on that one base. Stalkers they move out. Going to be deflected here by the Stalker double Sentry, as he did hallucination scouts, and now moving up with another. Likewise, Webster, they are denied here into the main. Going for his own tech of choice, going for his own Twilight Council. Blink is on the way for Luna. Hallucination will make its way to the main. Does slip in. Slip in, does confirm that there is an expansion. It's later. Likewise, also confirms that Blink is going to be faster for Luna. So upon seeing this, Fairespiter should be calming down, should be focusing on defense, doesn't want to get caught out without Blink. Should be taking a more defensive stance. Should be. Meanwhile, Luna staying in here towards the left-hand side. Just a hitting your big shot to Tavito. Ga, baby, ga. Like the old days. Exactly. Like the good old days. ¿A dónde está mi Cristiano, papi? ¿A dónde está? Y también, no te olvidas. Dastan se la come. That's okay. Oh, God. No. Dastan. So now we are moving out. But thank you so much, Davo, for subscribing. Thank you. Do appreciate it. Less than 3 back. As Blink is about to finish up here for Luna, we have extra gates on the way, getting into his own 4-gate setup here. 4-gate into Blink. Siempre. Oh, no. Yo, shout out to Tortuga in the chat. Good to see you. Tortuga. So far, does move out. Again, zoning back those adepts. Now, my biggest concern here is that Blink is done. Blink is done for Luna, but we are not being active with these Stalkers with the advantage of having Blink over your opponent. Luna could 100% be more active and more aggressive, picking away at the Stalkers, picking away at the Sentries, and taking advantage of Fairespiter, but that is not happening here. Or Fairespiter. That is not happening here. Luna is being more passive, more defensive, because that the early Twilight Council opener isn't really coming into play here, as Fairespiter has now finished up his own blink. Blink is now done for our pink Protoss player. Third base now going to be on the way. Luna still on 2 bases himself, going for extra gateways, getting into a 6-gate setup on 2 bases. This feels like the beginning of a 2-base all-in. You will not get up to this many gateways without applying pressure, without going for the all-in. But the Robo is just now on the way, and there's a chance here that Luna might just wait for his Robo for a Warp Prism, which means that'll delay him even further. Adepts, they confirm the third. Luna is aware of the expansion. There we go, he does now finally move out. And Luna does have the army supply lead, but again, despite having the faster blink, he's not quite making use of it. +1 is already done here for Fairespiter, now getting to +2, so he does have the upgrade advantage as well. The longer this goes on, the better it's going to be for the pink Protoss. It is going to be... Does move forward, takes down the Adepts. Luna going for the third. And can he force a cancel? Gets a couple of shots in. Yeah, 2 more volleys. He's so close. It looks like he will not get the expansion. Oh, he does. Does get it. Does force a cancel. Luna pulls out. Let's get the hell out of there. He's going to be punished. Those Stalkers are getting picked off. Immortal production has begun. And Luna is still on 2 bases, still building up more Stalkers, more Immortals. Dark Shrine on the way. Once again, a bit of a later Dark Shrine. And this time there's already detection. This time there's already the Robo. Observers on the way. This time the game will not end because of DTs. And it does feel like Luna is just being a little bit too passive this game. I know that I'm saying he's being too passive and he just denied the expansion. That is true, but that's all he's done so far. And again, still staying back home. Still building up, getting supply blocked. As he moves out, gets spotted by the hallucination. We'll see what Luna can get done. I miss his weird jokes. Weird? What do you mean, papi? Este tabito. Te gusta la tula. Oh, God. Azuna, here we go. Diving into the main. Does blink in. Oh, could try and deny +2. Yeah, Pylon is going to go down. Will depower. Going for the gateway. Not bad, even warping in a couple of DTs. Army does respond. Despite that, Fairespiter will barely not get the Prism. Prism does escape. But the DTs, no! The Dark Templar. Oh my God. Yeah, they're going to be caught out. Does snipe 2. Dark Templar, they find no damage. Prism goes back in, warps in 2 more DTs. Luna, he is persistent. But he's still 2-base all in. He's still completely 2-base all in here. Just now throwing down the third expansion, dives into the third base, but last this time Fairespiter is in position, and Luna cannot take this fight. Oof. Will bleed out too much. DTs that run into a cannon. And Fairespiter defends, deflects, and is getting further and further ahead, just shutting down the aggression. Blinking on forward, going for the Prism. Will snipe. Prism goes down. Now we have Luna again, finally taking the expansion, but it's just so late. It's so delayed. Did get the Forge earlier. And hey, he's finding a lot of pylons actually. Keeping Fairespiter's supply blocked. Does keep supply blocked. Keeping him busy. Oh, that was a crazy blink. It does wing forward, gets caught out, and Stalkers are going to get picked off. Just so many losses here. Luna, he has to pull out, he has to get away. Back at home, he's been building up Immortals, I believe. Ooh, if he was, he did lose them. Or maybe even cancelled. Yeah, no Immortals. I swear he was making an Immortal earlier. But maybe cancelled. From here, Fairespiter getting to his own Immortal production, restarting +2, rebuilt the Forge. Getting back into his upgrades. And we're waiting for the eventual move out of our pink Protoss player. Again, he still has quite an advantage, but at this point, he might decide to wait for +2. He might wait for his upgrade instead. Getting a 4th base, being more defensive. I mean, I don't blame him with how active Luna has been. And there's no pressure on Fairespiter to actually move out. Like, he's enjoying a lead. He's up in supply, and he's going to be the first to max out. We can see Luna double expanding, getting his 3rd, rushing to a 4th. Trying to build up. Still a ways away. Getting into charge or Archon. Meanwhile, you do see Fairespiter's already there. Already reached that form. Now getting to a 2nd robo, double immortal production, potentially into eventually disruptors. And we are just building up. Fairespiter, he's about to max out. And by the time he does, he should be pushing. He should be pushing across the map. He will have a recall, of course, if he needs to race back home. Starts up +3. We're just waiting for that moment. Waiting for that. Now, when it comes to Luna, when it comes to any kind of comeback potential, there is always some with disruptors. Unfortunately, he doesn't have that kind of tech. He went into a more standard follow-up into Charger Archon, so he has more or less the same army composition as his opponent, but just smaller. So he doesn't quite have that otherwise tech advantage over his opponent. DTs always have potential to overwhelm the cannon, so if you warp in enough Dark Templar, you can try to snipe the cannon and then get economic damage, especially if the opponent is committed to a push and it's across the map. So there's always potential for Dark Templar harassment, but the problem here is that we've only seen one at a time. There's only one DT on the map here towards the top side. Runbys is being dealt with, and here we go, Fairespiter is maxed. Now, he did take his sweet time, but Jesus, that's a lot of immortals. That's 7 immortals! 7 immortals moving out. Luna back at home is going to be in trouble here. And we may just go for the base trade. The base trade might be the best option for Luna. We'll see if he responds, or if he counterattacks. Yeah, top base is going to go down. Luna, what do we do? Where are we going? Expansion does fall. Luna getting the Storm? Okay. Storm is on the way. Unfortunately, Storm isn't really gonna do too much. There's a reason why we don't see Storm in main army engagements. They really just tickle units, Protoss units especially. But it's a unique approach. Meanwhile, the Bay is on the way for disruptors. And once again, Fairespiter is just being very passive here. He pokes in, gets a base, and pulls away. He can 100% take and win a main fight, a main engagement, if he so chose to. But he doesn't know how far ahead he is. We can see everything. We know that Fairespiter has been ahead and has had a lead for the past like 5 minutes. But alas, he is not aware. There's a recall towards the south side. Here's a look for the main army. Does scout. And will attempt to engage. Does blink in. Luna is banking up a lot of storms, by the way. That's a lot of High Templar. Luna forcing Fairespiter to just chase him. I mean, hey, he's maxed out himself. Jagging Fairespiter all the way back home. Recalls on cooldown. I mean, hey, he's fighting damage. True. Not bad. Luna buys time. Still being chased around. Jeez, how many High Templar? What is happening? 16! So he's got at least 16 storms. He's gonna have more than that. There's a couple of High Templar here almost at full energy. This I've not seen before. I mean, I said earlier that storms tickle Protoss units, and I still stand by that, but with this many storms, we'll see. Unfortunately, storms don't stack. Right, you can throw it down. Okay, going for the feedbacks. Storms on the Stalkers. Oh, I mean, we have perpetual storms. I mean, over time, they're picking away at the army. But we need more storms. We need more. We need everything. Oh my god, there we go. The Stalkers do go down. He stands in the storms. Now he's going for the Immortals, but last he will lose every single High Templar. That was a brutal trade. The Zealots will clean up. Here come the Zealot reinforcements, and Luna, he takes the fight. He's crazy. He does take the fight, overwhelms the Immortals. The Mass Storm, he's now got one High Templar left. And it's all or nothing for Luna. Back at home, Fairespiter, he's getting into Colossus production, not Disruptors. Brings him into the main. Going for the Zealot and DT Warping. And Luna, he has a chance here, but we gotta go. We gotta keep going. We have to keep pushing. Cannon goes down, and going for the main, going for the production. Does force a big reaction here from Fairespiter. Likewise, bottom right is gonna go down as well. There's that recall. Saves whatever he can. Likewise, recall towards the south side. Oof. Does recall over the Archons. They still trade well here for Luna. That's a lot of Zealots coming in. They're going to be cleaned up. And Zealots, they run into the Archons. Very nice trades out of Luna. And he can just keep going. He can just keep going. Luna, he takes down the expansion. Fairespiter, that was a rough recall. Not worth it in the end. Not worth it at all. But Luna's recall's on cooldown, so these Archons are going to be left on their own. Does get the mineral line, but we'll lose everything here. Yeah, there's no way out of this. He can trade, but that's the best he can hope for. He escapes with 2 Stalkers. Let's go. Does pull out, does pull away. Or we can just wave after wave of Zealots. Oof, running into cannons though, losing a High Templar. Takes down the Archers pylon. Luna actually going to be sending everything in here towards that expansion. Runs into Zealots. Yeah, a little bit lackluster this time. Has to pull away. Fairespiter taking another expansion, taking another base. Both players are burning through the banks, but I have to favor Fairespiter. He's got, jeez, speaking of one player having 16 High Templar, how many Colossus do we have? 7! 7 Colossus. What's happening? What is happening here? Jesus. I mean, we often talk about how 3 Colossus is a little bit, it always is kind of like what you want, and 4 is a little bit overkill, but we have 7. God. Let's go. I mean, it's gonna work. Not the most efficient army, as you can achieve with 7 Colossus what you can achieve the same with 4 Colossus than you can with 7. So again, there's going to be a lot of overkill, if you will. But regardless, here we go. The laser show has arrived. And Luna's going for the base raid. Going for the base raid, cannot engage with the main army. There's just so much splash damage here. 7 Colossus, 10 Archons. Going for the Dark Shrine. He knows what he wants. Likewise, Stalkers they hit bottom right. Zealots they top left. Trading out bases. Moving in. And we have gone full base raid mode. Now, because Luna has his army split, he is sniping 2 bases at a time, so technically Luna is working a little bit faster. Fairespiter just going from natural into the main, came to the production. We gotta keep going though. Luna, we gotta keep going. We're being left idle. Ooh, when he's turning around. Takes down bottom right. Now going for the natural. We have to, like, time is of the essence here. And once again, Luna just being overly careful. Now pushing in, but did take a sweet time. And Fairespiter, does he recall? There are no buildings outside. Uh-oh. Got no buildings. There's that recall. Does he snipe the expansion? Not in time. Yeah, it doesn't quite get it. Does get on top of the Colossus. Ooh, snipes one. Oh god, Jesus, but there's so many Archons, so many Colossi. And Fairespiter, he will take the fight. Still has half his army on the map. Yeah, and again, Luna just wasn't able to snipe that expansion in time. Remember, he had sniped the main base earlier. He could have actually won this base trade. But it did take a little bit too long going for the natural. And with that, Fairespiter should clean this up. Nice time for the Colossus. But here comes everything else. Meanwhile, Luna supply blocks, throwing down gateways as we speak, but actually cannot warp in. Cannot spend his money. Once again, Luna trying to force a reaction. And the final bases are going to be hunted down. Again, there were some opportunities here for Luna, but GG gets called, and Fairespiter will tie the series 1-1. We are going to the ace match. GG. An intense back and forth, a game that Fairespiter had in the bag, but likewise, both players were passive in their own ways, and they weren't really applying pressure when they needed to or when they were at their strongest. So in the end, both armies did max out. Fairespiter still had the more efficient and the higher quality army overall. But shout out to Luna for causing chaos in the base trade and for having a chance here at recovering, and for popping off with 16 High Templar. The hell did we just watch? Like, 16 High Templar, papi. It's crazy. That leads us into the ace match, leads us into game 3. We'll see how this story ends as we load into one of the smaller maps in the map pool. We're going to be loading into Whispers of Gold. Here we go. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Whispers of Gold, we have the pink Protoss player from the land of Spain, representing Team Hardstuck Heroes. It is Fairespiter. Fairespiter. God damn it. Every time. Fairespiter? In the bottom right-hand corner, we have the blue Protoss player, also from the land of Spain. Being forced into a tied-up series as we are here in the ace match, it is Luna. Go. As we have seen Luna go for the same opener every game, a 2-gate opener into double Stalker. Meanwhile, Luna has mixed it up, going for sometimes more economic starts, other times more aggressive ones. We'll see where Fairespiter takes us this time. Shall see. As there we go, 2-gate opener out of Luna, likewise 2-gate opener out of Fairespiter as well. 2-gate openers all around. Cyber cores are on the way. And Luna does fan out with a worker. Okay, so we have potential for either a fake proxy pylon or a very real proxy pylon instead. Based on its location, this wouldn't be the worst location for a proxy starport. Otherwise, never mind, second pylon in the main base, so no pylon yet. No setup. Yeah, second pylon is now done, and we have the double Stalker on the way. Meanwhile, Stalker Sentry out of a Fairespiter. And there's that proxy, there's that pylon. Okay. So this is going to be a later proxy. This is the third pylon instead. Now, Fairespiter should soon be searching for that third pylon. You can see the third pylon here on the low ground for our pink Protoss player. And he is confirming that he doesn't see anything here on the low ground yet. Stalkers will zone away. Fairespiter's in the dark. probe is hunted down. Fairespiter is going to expand. It is going to be a proxy Twilight Council. What's the plan? What are we going for? Luna opening up double Stalker. Ooh, expands back at home. Doesn't commit to anything. Not yet. And is moving out. So coming into this, I do favor Fairespiter. He does have a faster expansion, a faster natural. Going for his own Twilight Council behind this. Into Blink. Likewise, Twilight Council on the way for Luna as well. Nice snipe on the hallucination. Nice pickup. With the pylon, he can at least reinforce across the map. Outside of that, nothing major. And once again, Fairespiter is just a little bit faster in a couple of different aspects here. Is going for a faster forge, so faster +1. Blink has begun slightly faster as well. Meanwhile, Luna is making use of that proxy, going for the proxy Dark Shrine. Okay, going for the DTs. Now, it is not uncommon for a player to delay their own robo production. It's not uncommon to delay their robos and to take a faster expansion. Is he want to do that after what happened in game 1? That is the question. Oh, he sees. Never mind. Hallucination does see, does confirm, does spot everything. GG gets caught. And Fairespiter will take the series at 2-1. No shot. GG, well played. I was like, yo, is he gonna get detection in time? He found the proxy. He did find it. The pylon did see the hallucination as well. With that, Luna taps out. GG. GG. Not the end that I wanted out of this series, but congratulations. Congratulations nonetheless here to Fairespiter. He does claim the series, does advance on. Again, he was able to scout the cheeky proxy of Luna, and Luna, upon that occurring, just tapped out from there. Alas, was very much so banking on those DTs, banking on catching his opponent off guard. Alas, did not catch him off guard at all. Congratulations here to Fairespiter, as he does claim the series and does kick things off with a win here. But now he's up against the biggest name in the group. Now he's going to be up against his current opponent, Special. Here we go. Juanito does rise to the challenge. Oh. Juanito steps up.